Welcome to Attican Plays Railway Empire. All right, hi, this is Attican, and welcome to the continuation of our Railway Empire Back to Basics series. We're going to play Mission 4, which is the Civil War. And we're actually going to go into it and look at it first. I want to kind of walk you through how I would plan something like this, how I would think about attacking this thing. So we can see we have a bunch of money. We start in Louisville. We have one competitor. The AI is normal, so it shouldn't be terrible on us. Realistic network, normal pause, of course. So we're going to go on in and see what's going on.
Time is money.
And we only have the industrious as an option. That's the way all the campaign missions are. We'll skip the cutscene. Now I'm going to go into track construction just to pause it here, and I'm going to just talk over Jay, our good buddy Jay Cook. Okay, when you start any mission or scenario, I think one of the first things you should do is figure out what is different about this versus just standard gameplay. So we've been playing the game a little bit now. We're on our fourth mission, and we should have an idea of how the game is played, but what's different about this one? And the first thing we see, well, first of all, we inherit a bunch of track, right? There's already a line set up from St. Louis to Louisville, and Louisville up here to a warehouse and some things connected to the warehouse. We've got a line to Indianapolis where they make lumber. We've got some corn coming in. So we have a existing track. That's okay. That's one. Number two is we see our task list is grow Louisville, which isn't that far, and produce some weapons. Well, okay, weapons, definitely different. And secondly, Louisville looks like a key city, right? It looks like they were setting Louisville up as a big deal for us. It even said in the intro where they wanted a base of operation for the North near the border. And we can see here all this is unavailable to us. This is the whole South, where our AI competitor has a pretty healthy network going. He's got a lot of track going down there. We know Louisville's an important center. We know we've got some already built stuff. And we look here and we can see Louisville has an open slot. It already has a museum. It has an open slot and a chemical factory. And another thing we can notice, hey, it has a museum, but it's only $53,000. Well, it takes $60,000 to put in a special building. So, okay, something's up right there. So we know something's going on with this. So we can kind of anticipate something's going to happen with our special building. Secondly, we've got a new thing here, chemicals that need coal to produce chemicals. And then if we look, it said they want weapons. Well, we should understand, how do you do weapons? Weapons are produced by lumber, right up there, and iron ore, which is right over there, and chemicals, and we just saw that chemicals need coal, which is right over here. So we've got near us, we've got what we need for chemicals, what we need for the other two ingredients for weapons. So obviously Louisville would be a place to put a weapons factory. Okay, so that's part of the deal. So now we can think, okay, we want to grow Louisville. We want to grow it quickly. And we want to get weapons production going in Louisville. Now, how are we going to do that? And we've also got all this track and stuff we've inherited. We also know that rapid expansion, beer meat lines, would get us out, in front of this with a good, strong economic engine. But we could, of course, we've got beer up here in Cleveland, and we've got Toledo with meat right next to it, which is nice, and cattle here and wheat here, so that's an easy one. And we've got meat here in St. Louis with cattle near it. There's no cities to our south that we were allowed to go to. All this is marked off. And we've got a couple of cities here, in fact, a bonus for new industry in Des Moines. So here's what I'm thinking we do. We treat Louisville as a special city and sort of pour everything into Louisville, similar to the way we did Toledo in the last mission. So we're going to treat it as a special city, pour stuff into it. We're also going to put a weapons factory in here and get that going as quickly as we can. But the first things first, we want to make sure we have an economic engine that funds the rest of our stuff and gets us growth in Louisville, which we know we need to have quickly. So we are going to have a modified rapid expansion where we have meat coming into Louisville and beer coming into Louisville. So we've got a beer meat, and to keep them going and to keep them growing and to keep our economy humming, we're going to have meat and beer either here or here. So we'll put in a beer industry in one of these two. And it's a tough call. We get a bonus here, but we have to run longer lines to get to it. Or we could just put it in Columbia, have a shorter, quicker route, and shorter even for the delivery of the wheat. Right now, looking ahead, well, let's see. We've already got the textiles here. I was thinking maybe put textiles there, but we've already got textiles, which can feed Louisville. So I think we will. We'll put a beer industry up here in Des Moines and run wheat and eventually get our wheat going up there, get the cattle going here, and then that way St. Louis can participate in a beer meat line with Des Moines and feed meat to Louisville. And then we can have a beer meat line here to help these grow and have Cleveland feed the beer to Louisville. And so we'll have a modified rapid expansion. And let's close this now and let's go back out and restart. Oh, and one other thing. This is a good opportunity to talk about research because I haven't in this back to basics. I've just been kind of doing it without really talking about it. So let's take a moment and look at how research works, and this is a great one to do it on because they give us some points right up front. So we have 1,000 innovation points that we're just sort of gifted, right? So typically you have two paths of innovation. You have a company in construction, so it's got something that makes our factories are better. We get more revenue from passengers and mail, those kinds of things. Then we go over here, trains and locomotives, and we typically get things that say, okay, here's a new locomotive, here's a nice express locomotive, a faster train to run passenger lines with, here's cheaper trains, here's more power for your trains. So in other words, you can improve your trains and how they behave here. And here's even more passengers, which kind of almost belongs on the other side. Or you can go over here and look and say, okay, let's improve our factories, and then let's make more money based on, getting better, more passengers with better pay and more fees for our freight and our mail. So there's two great ways to go there. Now we've got 1,000. So what we'll do is decide, okay, well, what do we really want? Up front, what I would really want to help us grow quickly, right here, I would want standardized components because that's going to reduce the price of our locomotives. And once we get this going and once we build out the track the way we want it, we're going to be spamming trains like crazy to make this thing go. So this one is going to be a target. The way we get there is to go up to here and then over here. So we would do something like pick the Red Dragon, which is a very good freight train, then go over here and pick this one, and see we still have a bunch left. So then we could decide, okay, what do we really want? And what I would really want, given what we're going to do growth, and we know we're going to put in a couple of factories, then we would want to target this. And then we would want to think about, well, how can we make more money with what we have? So now we're making more money with our factories. And I'd love to get up here to the depreciation, but that's not a high priority. The highest priority is probably some of these to make more money out of them, or, well, this would be a great one, more passengers, of course. We could do anything, and we could get out here to an even better train. Like, let's see, this is 32 miles an hour, 69, 37. That Tyson 10-wheeler would be a really nice all-around train. And the Rogers American for express would be great, and the Rogers Mogul for mixed use for hauling freight would be great. So maybe we'll just target getting out. Once we get this, maybe we'll just target getting out here to the Rogers. So in fact, let's just see if we can get there. We would need to do at least, let's see, we do this and this, and we need, we'd have to do 3 more to get out to this. So we can't get out there right away. But we could conceivably get the 10-wheeler and run the 10-wheeler right off the bat, and then work our way out to the 2 Rogers, and that would be our kind of our goal would be to run the Rogers Mogul for freight, the Rogers American if we do any express lines. So that would be nice. So that's going to be our strategy for research. Let me see if I can remember it. Get this on the company side, and then on this side, work our way to this, and then work our way out to the Tyson 10-wheeler. That seems to me a reasonable strategy. But you don't have to necessarily plot it all out like this when you're planning a scenario or a mission. But it's not the worst idea in the world. Like if you have a mission where you know you've got to get a freight number that's hard on you, it's hard to get that much freight revenue, then you can look at the research tree and see how you can work your way out to get freight bonuses and get more money for your freight. Okay, so there we go. We've got a research strategy. We've got the basic idea of what we want to do here is kind of a revised rapid expansion. We got a lot of money, and when you see what I do first, when we come back to this, you'll see that we're going to have a lot more money than that when we get started. So let's go back out and come back in. Well, all we have to do is restart. Okay, let's restart the chapter. Skip the cutscene and
my name is
hit the bulldozer.
Cook. I'm delighted to finally meet you.
And now we're going to have fun. We're just going to bulldoze everything.
President Lincoln to save the Union. And I have a very important strategic role in mind for you.
I don't like to inherit other people's messes. I like to make
the conflict between
my
the
own
northern
messes.
and southern states. But we must
even if some of this is stuff that I am relatively certain I'm going to want. I still want to build it myself.
First of all, the Southerners need to realize that it would be wrong to bring the Union into question. For this reason, you should tend to Louisville and construct a weapons factory there. In this way, we'll have a good support near the border if the worst comes to the worst.
Okay, I think that's everything. I'm not seeing any more track anywhere. One of you noted that sometimes it can be tough to get these big auto signals in a spot. You notice, in fact, in the mission where we started in Baltimore and Washington, I had thought about using these, and they just don't fit. The terrain's too tough. Here they fit nicely, but you want to think about how you're going to do. In any case, if you're going to have 2 stations, you want to think about how are they going to fit together. See, like this and like this, no problem. There's no problem with this one. They'll fit just fine. So we're going to put one there, and we're going to put one up here in Cleveland. We're going to turn it a little because we know we're going to want it to go to Toledo as well. And we're going to want to have a line that runs down from Cleveland, comes all the way down here. Let's run it into probably that side. Let's see how that looks. Okay. We don't need that big swoop. We want the tightest corner we can make. Straightest line we can get is the most efficient way to go. We're going to definitely want that double tracked. Okay, we've laid track. We don't have any junctions. We're going to put in signals. And that's a long haul. We're going to put in a couple of towers. I think we'll put one tower about here. And one tower up here. Let's see, where's that wheat? Okay, one tower up here will do. Okay. So that's one set of lines. And we can go ahead And we're going to fire off some automatic lines here. Oh. No, we're not. Hold on. Forgot. This is unusual to have research already ready. So we're going to grab that. We're going to go over here before I forget it and grab that one. Then we're going to come back here and we're going to work toward this. So we have to take, actually if we take this, well, and I want that. That's what I really want. So we're going to take the Dragon. We're going to take standardized components. Now all these locomotives that I'm about to buy are going to be cheaper. And they're going to be Tyson 10-wheelers. And we used up our research. Perfect. Okay, now we can put trains on this line. We can go here to here, automatic. Tyson, 1, 2, 3. We'll come back the other way just to get them going and go, because it's a long one, and go Tyson, 2, 3. Okay, then we want to go out here to St. Louis and do the same thing. We're going to put in a train station with signaling control. And we'll turn it this way. And we're going to use these outside ones from here. And probably the inside ones here. Inside 2, I'm saying. Okay, we don't want to cross the river 14 times. We want to cross it once. So we'll go like this. Run this line down like so. So we make one bridge instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 3, or whatever it was. Okay, that looks good. See, we put on a supply tower. And what is that? That's a tower I didn't get, looks like. Okay. And a tower, we'll put one down here. And it looks like another 6 trains. So set rail here to here. Automatic line, 10-wheeler. Copy. Go back the other way. Copy. And now we want to go up here to, oh, did I lose? Oh, crapola. I lost my bonus. Shoot. Should have grabbed that first. No matter. I like this option just as well. So we're going to first put a station in here. We'll put a train station with signaling control here in Columbia. And it's going to run over. I want to run kind of sort of up. I'm going to scoot it out away from that river, kind of like that. Okay. And it's going to want to run from here over to here. Looks good. And back. Okay, and it's only going to need one tower like so. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we want to make sure, well, let's see. Now, that's beer meat on this side. We've got our kind of hybrid meat going this way. We've got the hybrid beer going that way. And we want to have a beer meat up here. Now, Toledo doesn't, I don't know if we're going to grow Toledo much more than just simply giving it the cattle for the meat to go to Cleveland. For now, that's probably about all we're going to do. You know what, though? I don't want them to waste money, but at the same time, we don't need to be stingy here. We can go ahead and give them a nice station. We'll give them a nice station like this, and we'll run it off these top ones, the top 2 tracks like that. and that. Set our signals, and I think for that one, a couple of trains are really all we need for that. 1, 2, and pause it again and go. And now we can, let's take toll of what we've got. In terms of setting up our engine, we've got our rapid expansion set up, even though it is a hybrid. We've got Toledo or Louisville in the middle. We've got our 5 cities. So let's go ahead and hook up our cattle and our grain so that this thing works really well. So we want to go out here, get a small station out here, and okay, and run our full wheat in here, and I'm pretty certain that the refrigerator car actually helps with that. 2, we'll run 3 trains and stop, and then we're going to go over here to the cattle and run the cattle into St. Louis so that we have a steady supply of meat going back to Columbia and, most importantly, down to Louisville. Okay, we've got cattle feeding St. Louis. Then we need wheat feeding Cleveland, which is already growing. Okay, small train station can come in from this angle. No, I want, yeah, we'll come in from here. And why don't we sneak over here and share that supply tower. So we're going to have to build another one. Now, when you put supply towers, you already have existing supply towers. You have to be aware that you have to set your signals on both sides to make sure you put in your blocks. So now we're going to have run full trains to here. Okay, a couple of those. Now what have we got? We've got our rapid expansion first and second phases are done because we've got the cattle and the wheat set up for all of the we've got the cattle and the wheat set up for all the appropriate cities, and we've got our beer meat lines, automatic lines running between all of our cities. So now we want to focus on growing Louisville. So let's take a good look at Louisville and what do they need? Well, they could use another business. Now we know what we want to put in there. We want to put a weapons factory, and we don't want to wait until too long and have an AI competitor put something in there we don't want. So we're going to go right for that. Put in the weapons factory. We're Roger, so it's not going to be expensive. We'll put it out here away from the middle. So now we've got our weapons factory. Now we need to look at what do they want in Louisville. And they want all the usual stuff that everybody wants. So what we're going to do here, we are going to set up a warehouse. In fact, could be multiple warehouses. Our first warehouse is going to be connected straight to Louisville, and we're going to bring into that warehouse basic goods that they want. So basic raw materials. So we're going to put in a big warehouse with signaling control, and we're going to put it in here as tight as our factory will allow us to go, like so. And then we're going to take a look around and say, okay, well, what do we want to put in there? We can put logs, that would be great, sugar, milk, corn, that's 4, wheat would be 5, veggies would be 6. Wouldn't that be, that would be lovely. See if I can remember that. Grain, I said wheat, corn, logs, sugar, milk, veggies. Perfect. I'm even going to give it a supply repairs, and now we're going to go out and hook up those 6 items to come into the city. So let's just start down here. We can go like this, and I actually want it to come out like that as a separate line. Okay, let's do a couple trains of logs coming in there. Then let's go back here and grab the sugar. Connect it into that same line. And I don't know for sure if anybody does, put in a comment. Don't think the refrigerator trucks help us when we carry it into a warehouse. That seems like a shame, but it's, I think it's a sad truth. All right, let's get a line. Wait a minute. I'm going to come back to the milk. Let's get this corn over here. And we'll kind of run it underneath of the milk, so to speak, or over top of the milk, however you want to think of it, like this. Couple trains doing that, and then we can go ahead and get our milk connected. I don't want to do this. Yeah. Yeah, I did put in the signals, so. The milk's clumsy. Let's move the milk back a little bit. I don't want it in there too close, messing things up. How far back can we go? I think that'll do. I think we can make this work. Because we're only going to run 1 train on this super short distance. But it'll need 2 tracks because... Will it need 2 tracks? It will need 2 tracks because of the kind of one-way streets it's trying to hook up with. So track, let's see, if we come back here like this, can we sneak one in there like that? Well, shoot. How are we going to do this? As I've said before, don't be afraid to change your mind or do something a little bit more elegantly if you can. We're going to have two things coming in down from over there at a minimum, and then we're going to have some other stuff coming in, but you'll see that's kind of different. So I'm just trying to think of how are we going to hook up this and this, the grain and veggies, into this warehouse and get the milk in there too. And I think the best solution is to, what's going to make this a little easier is to kind of bump this over to this set of tracks. Like that. And now it's now we've just made the milk very, very easy because it can run right there. And I could even just have one track because it's only, again, it's going to be one train. But I will make it double track just in case I want to hook something else in there. I'm really not even sure that matters, but just because it's kind of the way I do things. All right, and this is kind of sad, but there has to be a supply tower for that little guy right there. So we're going to have one train running full, carrying milk in there. And so we got milk, we've got corn, we've got logs, we've got sugar, let's do veggies and wheat. Now what we could do here, now this line is an automatic line, so it's not a pure passenger line. So what we can do here is, and where's that? That's a supply tower right there. Perfect. So what we're going to do here is actually come off of this. We'll come off right after the supply tower like this. And come over here and hook into this line. I'd like to actually hook in at that. Yeah, that's fine. Just like that. If we can make that corner, which I think we can. No, we can't. Okay, so let's kill that. Let's come off the inside like this and go to the far side over there. That should be good. And then if we come down like, now it won't, I missed the cone again. Catch the cone, lock it in. There we go. There we go. Now we made an intersection, so that one's in a bad spot. We'll replace it. This one possibly in a bad spot. We'll put it back here, and then we'll see if that's long enough to put one in. It is. Good deal. So we've got an intersection here that looks pretty good. We'd like to come on up here. That one's maybe a little short. Let's delete it and then replace it. Now, see, it doesn't want to go in there. It's too short. That's a good way to test, by the way. Take it out and then try to put it back, and you see it's too short to go in there. And this is all fine right here. We could maybe put one. Nope, doesn't like it. Okay, so what was I doing? Oh, yeah. So now we want to go up here, and now these two can just hook into this line. So we can just do our sugar from either side and go like this and just hook it in, and we'll give it a little runway so it can make sure we can get it off there, off the main line. And like so. here's a good place to use your Jan Jansen signals tight here to make sure these trains can get off here if they get into a waiting situation. And we just, oh wait, that's sugar again. Sorry, never mind. Forget all that. We don't even want that. We want the veggies. We've already got sugar coming from the other direction, from over to the west. So scratch that and instead do this. And come in. We've got an interesting little situation there. I want to come in on a signal. There we go. Beautiful. Set our signals. Now, we created a junction, so we'd want to get rid of that one that's too short and that one that's too short. Otherwise, it looks pretty good. And that will give us veggies. Whoops. Didn't want you to go there. Couple of those, and then we'll go up here to the grain, and we're going to have a small station on this side. And have it come down here. And if you build your inside lane first on these curving ones, you know the outside will fit, right? But if you build the outside first, you may get it too sharp and the inside may not go in there. So as a rule, build your inside track on those tight curves first. Okay, so there's our grain. We'll do 3 trains of grain going to that warehouse. Okay, so now we've set up a warehouse. We've got, actually we have Louisville growing. What's our task? Grow and produce, okay. And we've got some personnel. What do we got here? A promoter, okay, well, geez, make it easy on us. We will promote Louisville. And inventor, we got a lot of money, why not? We'll take an inventor. That gives us some more innovation. That gets us closer to these guys, I think. We'll get the Rensselaer. Moving to these two. And once we get these two, we'll backfill, make the trains better, and get more money for our lines on the other, the company side of the research ledger. So now, oh man, we've got a lovely little thing going. Now, what we don't have, of course, we want to be able to make these weapons, and we're going to need this line back here from Indianapolis. We're going to need to be able to hook it into the system and bring lumber into Louisville. And what I'd like to do with that is actually have a city-to-city line and just bring the lumber into the city, and that way we can haul some passengers and stuff back and forth between these two cities. And so we're going to do a line like this, like so. And then Indianapolis, excuse me, is going to need logs, so we'll definitely give them logs. And let's just, why not? We'll give them a nice train station with signaling control too. We don't need to. We could a regular train station or a couple of smalls would work just fine here, but we'll go all the way. And that's going to be the right hand side. Let's see if we can straighten this up a little bit. 85, that looks good. And we'll connect it here and here. Give it a tower. Okay, then we've got a nice little CDC line that will bring us lumber. And let's make sure that we can keep making lumber by putting in some logs out here. Now, an alternative would have been to run, if we'd set the lumber up as something that got delivered to the warehouse, we could have had a warehouse line from Indianapolis, dropped off the lumber, and picked up logs out of the warehouse. That would have been a fine way to go too. But I like what we're doing here. This is all good. Run full to here. Okay, so we've got our logs set up with wood coming in. I mean, to give us our lumber to go to Louisville. We've got Louisville growing. What we need now are the weapons. So the weapons have to have the chemicals, right? So that means we have to have this and we have to have this, and we could bring logs here, but we don't really need them. So we definitely need these two to go here. So what we're going to do now is put in another big warehouse with signaling control. We're going to put it right outside of the other one. As long as it hooks up, we're good. Yep, see, it does hook up, so we can just put it in there nice and tight in case we want to do anything else. I'm going to hit Control so it doesn't move quite so much. Scoot it in there like so. And this one is going to hold. What's it going to hold? It's going to hold coal, iron ore.
Thanks to the expansion, Louisville has reached a considerable size. This has made the city a
And
strategically
weapons.
important point in the war, as goods can be delivered efficiently to the front line from here.
Okay, we hit our goal of growing Louisville. Not terribly surprising, because I mean, you know, we are pumping stuff in there. So now let's finish this off. Let's get these two items going over here, and then we can start producing weapons. So we'll get our iron ore line like this. And I think I'd like to have just a nice dedicated line going in there. Like so. Okay, give it a supply tower. And then go out here to the coal. We'll run the coal in, hook it to this existing line, and double track it back. And set up our rail line with the coal running into our warehouse. Okay, so now we've still got a little bit of money left, but we've managed to build this really beautiful network of supplies that are going into Louisville, beer meat lines, which should be good and make us good money there and help these cities grow a little bit. We should be able to grow Cleveland and Toledo a little bit, and most mainly just run some nice profitable lines through there. And what else we got? Oh, and we've set up our full blown weapons production now, because we've got the coal coming for the chemicals, we've got the lumber coming from Indy that is being supplied with the wood, and we've got the iron ore coming in to here, and we'll be producing weapons very shortly. And we've got a connection bonus for Rock Island. And why in the world wouldn't we hook them up to something somewhere? We could actually hook them up pretty easily to give them both beer and meat. Yeah, why don't we? We will. Yeah, we're just going to keep with these train signals with signaling control. I think we'll do it kind of sort of like that maybe. And we'll just hook Rock Island up. Let's see here. Let's run it from the, where is it? The second one in, like that. Down here to Columbia. We got a bonus for that, so this is going to be relatively cheap and should pay itself back pretty quickly, because what we're going to do here is we're actually going to hook it into both Columbia and St. Louis. I don't see signals on that. I think I've messed up right there. Let me see here. Did I mess up right there? No, there are signals. There are signals. I'd love to come in and pick up that supply tower. Why not? So let's just go out. Shoot, from here. Like that. And then like that. And then we're going to want to go in here and put in our Jan Jansen signals to make sure that these cattle trains can get out of the way and get off that line. Beautiful. All right. And now we're going to run some trains, Rock Island to Columbia. And let's go back the other way. St. Louis to Rock Island. Okay. So, and we haven't even opened up any bonds yet. So, how are we looking? We have to produce a weapon. And our weapons factory is waiting on iron ore, which should be arriving any time now. Like right there. So let's just speed this up and see what happens when we get some iron ore in here. Oh, we get breakdown bag condition. We can kind of keep up, because we had so much money, we can be a little bit better with the repairs. I think I put repairs here. Did I put them here? I did put them there and there. And there. We'll put them there.
You now own a weapons factory. You will now be able to intervene in the battles, indirectly at least. Remember to expand the factory, if necessary, to increase its production.
Okay.
The President is satisfied. We've driven back the Confederate troops. Now we need to advance, and for that, we need to be able to deliver supplies. Your task now is to expand the rail network into the South as quickly as possible. Incorporate the existing lines into it. Tennessee is strategically crucial for the further course of the war. We've established military camps in Nashville and Memphis. Deliver weapons to them, and do so as quickly as you can.
All right, so they want us to deliver 12 weapons to towns. Okay, so let's pause. Now, all this we've done gives us a very strong economic engine. Now look at our money's just going to rack up like crazy. So we've got Nashville down here, and they want us to use the existing, incorporate the existing network. They've opened up just this piece of it for us, Memphis and Nashville. So, so of course, the first thing I'm going to do is destroy all of this. Okay, why don't we put a warehouse? I'm going to put a regular warehouse with signaling control. Put it right there. And I'm going to have it just hold weapons. Whoops, that's not weapons. Those are weapons. Okay. Okay, and we're going to have a line that runs from weapons to weapons. So we'll have a line that comes out of this and goes over here to this warehouse. And goes here and runs full, only carrying weapons, which is all it could take anyway. And we'll put a train on that, and then we'll go over here and see we need to do something else to get over to this. Let's increase the power of our locomotives. Okay, and I don't remember if did I put a train on that? I thought I did. Oh yeah, it's a waiting track.
Even if we are in the midst of the turmoil of war, we cannot forget that it will one day be over. And then we will work together with the southern states and be a whole once again. Our president will do it. Of that, I'm sure.
Okay, I wanted to show you one thing that is a disadvantage of these signal control stations. When you have them like this, and you want to have a train run full, that doesn't work well, particularly if you have more than one train. Because if you had 4 trains, you could conceivably have all 4 tracks tied up with trains waiting to be full, when that very warehouse is where the goods need to come in to allow you to manufacture the weapons in the first place, right? So you really want to kind of avoid that. So I'm going to go back to this guy here. Oh, no wonder. Well, one reason he didn't work, and I didn't give him a target. But I'm not going to have him run full. I'm just going to have him just kind of run. So when he comes out of 3,
war. Now we can only hope that the flames of war do not blaze up into the north, and we will do something about it.
Okay, now we're at war, and now we've got all of this going on. That seemed awfully fast, so go. So run that over. We still got to do our 12 units. So what we want to do now is take our money. We want weapons at a big pace. We want to upgrade this to 1.6 and upgrade this again to 3.2. Now that means we need 3.2 of this.
Jonathan Johnson's the name.
So I want to actually buy that.
Don't ever dare set foot or tracks in the South. This is my territory, and I'll deal with the network myself.
Yes, Jonathan, we hear you. Now it's time to get in debt. Okay, it's about time. All right, we're going to take out a bond. We're going to take out a bigger bond. We're going to take our money and we're going to buy ourselves a chemical factory. And we're going to upgrade that chemical factory until it matches the 3.2. So we're going to go up again. Okay, this matches this.
Battles are raging south of Louisville. We have to push back the Confederate troops. Until that happens, you won't be able to expand the rail network in that direction.
Okay, so that was open and now it's not. That's fine. So we want to match, let's see. Our weapons need 3.2 iron. So we want to go out to the iron out here. And we actually want to buy the iron. Now we have to bid on this, but there's no competitor. Our competitor's down there in a different, kind of in a different world. So we will win the bid, but it's going to be a bit expensive. Okay, and then what we want to do is run it up to 3.6. And we do want these trains, so you can see we're negative right now, and I'm not going to get that way. Shoot. That's going to slip by us. That's an opportunity right there. We're going to take the Rogers American and we'll target this. Okay, we need to just let it run for a bit, make some money. Okay, here goes our first load of weapons. And I saw an error for a missing here. Shoot, I forgot to put supply tower on this line. And it looks like I forgot to put a supply tower on this line as well. Is that possible? Yep, it is. And this needs to be expanded because you can see it's backing up. So we need more tracks to let more trains get in there.
There was no time to lose. Shortly before that, I had opened my own bank in Philadelphia. And so important politicians leapt right at me to finance the war with treasury notes.
Okay.
Knoxville and Jackson can now be reached. Connect them to your rail network as quickly as possible and deliver weapons to the cities.
Okay.
It won't be long now until the fighting flares up there.
Let's wrap up this video right here as part 1 of Mission 4, and we'll come back and finish it off in part 2 in our next episode. This one's getting a little bit long, and we're at a good stopping point. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next Railway Empire video. Thank you.